Okay, the time is 7:42. I'll call this regular scheduled meeting of the mayor and council to order. First tonight, we have the invocation. If Kenneth Carey could come forward with New Mercy Christian Church.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I would like to ask the Lord to bless us all. I'm very honored, Lord, to be here in the presence of so many great people. And Lord, just as all communities at this point in time are going through tough economic times, we might not all have the answer, Lord, but we all ask you to lead us in the right way to find our way. And I want to say, Lord, that I want to also ask your prayer for anyone whose family is going through any kind of health issues, and I want you to bless them. But more important, Lord, I just want to say that that the city council and the mayor is doing their best to try to get everything together. And last, I just want to say, Lord, bless everyone in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Now for tonight's announcements. The July 9th Board of Appeals meeting has been canceled. July 16th, we'll have a Snellville Entrepreneur Summit here at City Hall in the community room. There'll be a 6 p.m. networking and a 6:30 program. On July 21st, you can watch the rebroadcast of this council meeting on Comcast Channel 25 at 6:30 p.m. July 22nd, we'll have our next regular scheduled council meeting. It'll be a 6:30 p.m. work session and a 7:30 p.m. meeting. We'll also have a special called meeting on July 18th at 7 o'clock. On July 23rd, we'll have a Planning Commission meeting, a 7 p.m. work session, and a 7:30 p.m. meeting here at City Hall. Now for the pledge to the flag, do I have Girl Scout Troop 1713 here? For ceremonial matters, we have Resolution 2013-16, honoring the Patriot Guard Riders for their support of the city of Snellville and for their steadfast dedication in support of those who have sacrificed their lives for our country. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders were established in November of 2005 in response to protesters of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan who sought to disrupt the funerals of our fallen heroes. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders have faithfully dedicated themselves to honoring those brave servicemen and women who selflessly made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and have protected the mourning families of our nation's fallen heroes by shielding them from disrespectful interruptions and callous intrusions from war protesters, and have selflessly ridden to protect the solemnity, and dignity, I'm pulling a Jerry, I apologize, and dignity of numerous funerals of fallen service members, preventing countless disruptions to date. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders have over 220,000 members from all walks of life to demonstrate their love of liberty and resolute support for those who serve in uniform and those who have died for the cause of liberty. They have participated as invited guests in over 18,000 missions to date, honoring our defenders of freedom from all past conflicts at events to include, but not limited to, funerals, viewings, parades, welcome home ceremonies, troop send-off ceremonies, and other military gatherings. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders volunteer time and personal resources to repair and rebuild homes, install wheelchair ramps, and provide numerous other forms of assistance for transitioning warriors to ensure that they have the freedom and mobility they deserve to pursue full and meaningful lives. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders, many who are veterans, have played a significant role in a resurgence of patriotism witnessed today in their devoted, unwavering displays for our military and country through their honorary flag lines for fallen heroes, moving many citizens to display flags at home or to join with their community to recognize the American spirit and the cost of its defense. Whereas the Patriot Guard Riders have distinguished themselves in countless other ways, such as the Fallen Warrior Scholarship Fund for U.S. military family members, visiting veteran hospitals, and giving financial assistance to families of fallen soldiers. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and city council of the city of Snellville, Georgia, where everybody's proud to be somebody, along with the citizens of Snellville, honor the Patriot Guard Riders and the contributions of its members to the surviving wives and husbands, children, families, and communities of this nation's military who perished protecting their country and the freedom of those who they left behind. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2013-16?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Councilman Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Emmanuel. Any further discussion?
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could, if any of you ever seen what the Patriot Guard Riders have done in this community, I mean, it's been witness to what they do. They do this all over the country, and I've had the distinct honor and privilege of being a part of what they call their missions. And it's not just a ride. This is something they all take very, very, very seriously, and they're all very proud. And so when we invite these ladies and gentlemen up here, please give them just all the heartfelt support and applause and thanks that you can muster tonight. In addition to this resolution, I've also been able to get a flag that's been flown over our Capitol. I'm also going to present to them tonight as well. So anyway, thank you very much.
Additional comments? Okay, see none. All those in favor of the resolution 2013-16 as stated signify by raising your right hand. 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The resolution stands approved. Thank you for your service to our community.
Can I get y'all to come out and get a picture, please? Genuine heroes right here, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, it's an honor to do what we do. If you walk up to any of our members in a flag line at any of our missions, they'll tell you it's an honor to do what we do, and that's not a can statement. It really do mean it. Thank you.
The Patriot Riders were kind enough to participate in last year's Snellville Days Parade and this year's Flag Day ceremony, so thank y'all for your involvement in our community especially. Now moving on, we have the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 10th, 2013 Business and Public Hearing meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes from the June 6th meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Sabag. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, that's 0 opposed. The minutes stand approved. Now we have invited a guest. We have with us tonight Erica Alford with Troop 1713, Girl Scout Troop 1713. She's been working on a Silver Award project, and she's here to tell us about it tonight.
First off, I would like to thank the mayor for allowing me to come and speak today. Now, my Silver Award project is not only on animals, but it is on the very severe topic, animal cruelty. Now, many of you know that animals are completely dependent on humans. So when a person were to neglect an animal, then that animal has no one to take care of it. Today I had the opportunity to interview Dr. Brad Harris from the Gwinnett County Animal Hospital. And he said that all animals should be treated humanely, and he also said that they should be given the same exact needs that humans are given, such as food, water, and shelter. Now, whenever you hear about animal cruelty cases, they are usually about dogs. That's usually what they're about. But did you know that around 25% of all animal cruelty cases are not about dogs, not about cats, but they are about other animals such as horses and cows and other animals that people may own. 64.5 of them are of dogs, and the rest of the 18% of them are of cats. Also, as you know, animal cruelty is illegal, and unfortunately it is only a felony in 46 out of the 50 states. In the 4 states where it is only treated as a misdemeanor, Idaho, Mississippi, North Dakota, and South Dakota, the only punishment that they will receive is either a fine of about a couple $1,000s or a year in jail. Now that should be changed, since animal cruelty is just like neglecting any living organism, and they shouldn't be treated differently. Now, whenever an animal cruelty case is discovered, usually animal control comes and takes that animal so that they can get treated, because if that animal were not to be treated, all the wounds and illnesses that that animal may have can worsen. So they are first treated, and also if that animal has ran away from the owner, then the owner has around a week to reclaim the animal, and also if that animal is not reclaimed, then that animal is allowed to be put up for adoption. Now, of course, we know that there are no feral animals allowed to be adopted because they may be harmful to other people. I also had the opportunity to talk to Officer Michael Chatham, and he is in charge of the kennels at the Gwinnett County Animal Shelter. And I had asked him what was the most severe case that he has ever received. He told me that he once had to go save a horse that was so skinny that it could not even stand on its own. Now, what happened was the owner had left that horse there for around 2 months, and there was no grass or any type of food for that horse to feed on, so basically that horse starved for about 2 months. Now, if you were to take a family and they were to adopt an animal or purchase an animal, of course they're going to accept them just like a member of the family. They'll love them just like the member of the family. So whenever you hear anything about animal cruelty cases or an animal being neglected, it's very upsetting to hear that there are people out there that think it's okay to neglect animals. Now, we all know that animal cruelty will not be able to just go away instantly, and it'll take time, but we as a group of people can go around and spread awareness of animal cruelty. We can maybe form groups in our neighborhoods or form groups in our schools, and there are also programs out there where you can sponsor an animal that may have been abused and they are put up for adoption, where you could basically decorate the area where they may be able to see the animal, and you may even be able to give that animal names so that that animal will be able to feel more loved after all of the troublesome times that they've been through, since they are, of course, traumatized of all the things that have happened to them. Now, many people just think of animal cruelty of, oh, animals are just getting hurt, but they may be abused, they may be starved, and the thing is, people may just look at it and kind of forget about it, but this one topic is very severe, and just like I said earlier about it only being a misdemeanor in 4 states, that should be changed so that it will become a felony, because abusing an animal is no different than abusing a human, because they are a living organism just like us. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, and good luck to you with your project. We now have our committee and department reports. First, from the Evermore CID, we have Ms. Callie Andrews.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. A few updates I have from the Evermore Community Improvement District. The first being our tax digest for the CID was actually a real bright spot for us. It was up 15.28% for the CID this past year, up from 157,000 to 181,000. That's coming off a 31% decline that we'd experienced since 2009. So we think very attributable to the investments that have been made and the efforts of the Community Improvement District, especially in the times now. As a result of that, we are meeting this Thursday, the board, to propose a continuance of our 5 mils rate and expect for that to be approved this Thursday. The next update is that our landscape project, which hopefully you've all seen the benefit of along the medians as well as the sidewalks, has completed, and I think a great enhancement to the aesthetics of that 7-mile stretch down 78. The Opportunity Zone update, appreciate working with the City of Snellville and the CID on this project. As you all know, we returned the application to Gwinnett County and submitted it to the Department of Community Affairs actually this past Wednesday. So upon approval of that, we look forward as the CID to holding some informal community meetings as well as producing some educational brochures for the constituents and business owners along the CID so they can take full advantage of that opportunity. With the Collector Road project in 3 phases, the first phase, the Walton Court realignment, we're currently in the process with the county of contacting all the property owners and making the offers that are in the amount agreed upon by the Gwinnett County and the Georgia Department of Transportation. We currently have a grant and a loan from GTIB to cover that project cost. Phase 2, which is the Britt High Point Walton realignment, we received 5 responses to the RFP we sent out for engineering. T.Y. Lynn was the selected engineer, and they have started the engineering phase of that project. The phase 3 of the Collector Road, which is the concept road, Gresham Smith and Partners are currently revising the concept report to include modifications that we requested. Once all those revisions have been vetted through GDOT, the recommendation realignment for the project will be forwarded to the Federal Highway Administration. 2 last updates. The CID submitted our SPLOS list of projects to the county, and that was the list that had previously been approved by the Board of Directors and submitted to GDOT. So we look forward to an update from that at the end of the year. And then finally, the CID will be partnering with Partnership Gwinnett to attend the 1-day peer tour, as mentioned earlier, on September 13th to South Carolina, and we look forward to participating in that. And finally, on a personal note, I thank you for appointing me to serve on the CID. It's been a rewarding experience and a pleasure to serve Snellville.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. I think y'all have decreased crime and increased property value, so great job. Thank y'all. We now have a report from Ms. Platt, our Parks and Recreation Department Director.
I don't have a whole lot. We did, in our last meeting, elect our chair and chair-elect with some of the new members that we have. Simon Cole is going to be our chair, and Bobby Owens is going to be our chair-elect. We did talk a little bit about the new waterfowl feeders that we had out there. We're going on about 8 weeks now. They seem to be working really well and doing pretty much online what we would hoped with the maintenance side of it. They're pretty popular. They've kind of decreased. They're doing exactly what they were. Their waterfowl are staying more within the limits of the water and not roaming around quite as much. They still go on land, but not quite as much. We don't see as much of the bread and popcorn and some of the other stuff being laid out, which is another maintenance issue. Certainly, it seems that what we'll do is probably in about 4 to 8 weeks readdress again, and we may even add another 1 or 2 strategically, move some around. One of the benefits, which was not our primary, was the revenue, and we actually, the first 6 weeks, we got about $180 from them, which is quite a bit considering it's a quarter per pop, so that's a pretty good turnover there. So added bonus that really wasn't the primary, but it's kind of nice to have that. So again, we'll readdress in probably 6 to 8 weeks and see if we want to add some more or move some around. There really wasn't anything else that we discussed in the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Platt. Now for city manager's report, Mr. Sanders.
Real quickly, I just have a couple of things that I'd like to update everybody on. We had a long work session. We took the LCI update off just when I had some good news. So I'd like to just let everybody know that we've received approval for our budget and our project plans from Georgia DOT. We will place our RFP for contractor bids in the paper tomorrow, and that will be spread fairly widely. We hope to get 6 or 7 bidders, a lot of interested people in our streetscape project on Oak and Wisteria and Clower. It will be nice to finally, after I believe 7 or 8 years, turn a shovel of dirt on that project. We anticipate with the bids going out, having a pre-bid meeting and giving contractors enough time to look things over and line up their subs. We probably will be breaking ground sometime around Labor Day. I'm using another acronym, the PIO, Public Information Officer, which was approved in the FY14 budget. We are starting to cast our nets widely as far as seeking the best person we can find for that public information officer position. I guess our discussion has preceded us. Several people have already called about the job, interested in the position. We have what I think is a good job description and a good ad, which will go on the website, in addition to several special placements that we'll look for our media relations, public information person. So I think that will be filled. I expect a lot of good applications, and expect to have that filled probably within 30 days.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Sanders. We have nothing on tonight's consent agenda. Under old business public hearing, we have our second reading for CUP 13-05, consideration action on an application by Atlanta Healthcare Management for a conditional use permit for an emergency air evac heliport on 3,700 plus or minus square feet tract located on the vacant 1.084 plus or minus acre portion of the Eastside Medical Center campus, which is located at 1700 Medical Way in Snellville, Georgia. Mr. Davis, you want to give us a report on that?
I think I killed it. CUP 1305 is a conditional use permit for a hangar and short runway for a heliport at the hospital, at Eastside Hospital. This aerial photograph shows you the general location. This is MOB1. This is currently a construction layout yard from where they did the tower expansions. That is the area that will be utilized for the helipad. The applicants presented us with the site plan. This is MOB1. This will be the hangar. There's a short taxiway, and then the helipad here, a fueling station. These dashed lines leading out are the flight paths in and out of the helipad. You'll notice, since this is now oriented north, these are running to the northeast and the southeast, which lets them go predominantly through commercial corridors, and it gets them going southeast a pretty good distance out before they are over any residential areas. The Planning Commission reviewed the application. The client brought in some architectural drawings of the hangars. They are going to take the hangar buildings and match the finish of the hospital buildings, so they'll fit right into the area. This is kind of an expansion of their potential for helicopters. They have a helipad now, but they don't base a copter at the hospital. This will allow them to have one copter based here which will give them a lot more access to air evacuation procedures and will help enhance the hospital's mission, as well as give them additional services that they do not currently have. The Planning Commission recommended approval with 2 conditions. We have added a 3rd condition since that time in consultation with the city attorney. All these have been reviewed with the applicants, and they indicated they did accept them. The 3 conditions were: 1, that any signage placed for monument signage to identify the helipad could be no higher than 15 feet and no larger than 225 square feet. Condition 2 would allow the planning department to make non-substantial approvals of changes to the plan itself as it evolves. As you know, from a conceptual standpoint, till you actually get the thing on the ground, there are some changes here and there, but this plan probably represents 95% of what's going to happen. And number 3, the use and the construction of the air evac facility is conditioned to this site plan. So when you pass this, if you do, it will actually be tied to the site plan, and any changes that would be substantial would have to come back through the board again. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to try and answer them.
I'm hoping the monument sign is for the passengers driving by, not the helicopter pilots.
It'd have to be higher than 15 feet.
Is the applicant present?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Marian Adami. I'm an attorney with Anderson, Tate & Carr. I'm here tonight representing Eastside Medical Center. I thank you for your time and consideration of this proposed CUP. We ask that you recommend approval of our request with the conditions placed on by the Planning Commission and Planning Department. This CUP would allow for a small heliport consisting of a hangar, helicopter pad, and short taxiway. The request is completely consistent with the future land use plan, and the Planning Staff and Commission has recommended approval. The proposed property is 1.084 acres. It's in the northeast corner of the campus, and it would be site-specific as presented to the Council and Planning Commission. The current zoning allows for this proposed CUP, and this was considered as part of the prior rezoning in that proposed site plan. And Eastside Medical is far and away the city's largest employer. Having Air Evac as an emergency medevac provider will enhance and allow Eastside to continue to provide the best medical care possible. We ask that you echo the planning staff's recommendations and recommend approval of this request for CUP, and I'll reserve my time for rebuttal.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions of the applicant?
Between the work session and the agenda session, there was a 3rd condition. Are you in full compliance with that, or you agree with that 3rd condition?
We do, and we are. The applicant is aware of that 3rd condition and agrees with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll take public comment for or against this proposal. If anyone would like to speak for or against, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Marcy Fair, 1749 Ridgedale Drive. I'm all for this. Should have happened 5 years ago. And I thank Eastside for doing it.
Jamie Dempsey, 430 Crested View Drive. Actually, I have a question. Would this be something that helps allow Eastside Medical Center to raise its status to a higher level trauma center? Or, I mean, I apologize for asking, but what was the kind of the point and the purpose other than just transportation?
I can address that generally. You know, that is, I think, the goal of the hospital. I don't think that this necessarily does it, but that's certainly a goal that they have, and certainly enables them to provide that medical care at a higher level. Thank you.
I think, Jamie, also, as I understood it, it allows for Eastside to have some more immediate opportunities to get their patients that may need more critical care someplace quicker as well. Because as I understand it, this helicopter is going to be based there, correct? Okay, is that a fair assessment of what I just said?
Yes, I agree.
Oh, okay.
Any other public comment for or against this proposal? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment portion of this and entertain a motion by council.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion to approve CUP 13-05, a conditional use permit for emergency air evac heliport with all 3 conditions.
There is a motion by Councilwoman Kraus. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Emmanuel. Any further discussion among council? Again, for the record, you're okay with the conditions as stated in the motion.
Yes, we are, Mayor.
See no further discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of CUP 13-05 with the 3 conditions as previously stated, signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The project stands approved. Congratulations and good luck to y'all.
Thank you very much.
That brings us to item number B.